What we want to do now is talk about the ArcGIS platform holistically. Every year, we add more things to the platform, and there's no one better to actually walk us through that than the Director of Software Development, Sud Menon. So Sud, welcome, and let's talk about the platform.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, to kick things off this morning, we just wanted to talk through the platform. You're going to see a lot of exciting things today, and this will put it in context, we hope. So the ArcGIS platform includes desktop, it includes apps, it includes APIs. And all of this is powered by ArcGIS Online and by ArcGIS for Server, either in the cloud or in your infrastructure, the backends that power WebGIS. And we've been working really hard on building a cohesive platform that knits all of these elements together for enterprises, for organizations, for developers, and their audiences. The platform delivers WebGIS. That's the term we use to communicate the fact that the information products that you build with this platform, they are used within the organization. They're also used by citizens. They're also used by consumers. So both within the organization and to the audience that the organization needs to communicate to. That's the power of WebGIS. If you look at the platform, these are the basic elements, right? It allows this information to be accessed from any device. The portal is the core of the platform in terms of organizing content. This is both content that comes with the platform as well as content that you create as users of the platform. And it's that content that powers applications. Organizations are a key aspect of the platform. Organizations have users, and these users have identity. That allows them to belong to groups and to share information securely with each other. Users can belong to roles. The ArcGIS platform has a powerful system of privileges that allow you to configure the roles that work for your organization. You see some of these here. The examples of privileges that can be used to build up these roles includes things like the ability to create, update, and delete content, the ability to share with groups, and we continue to add privileges at each release of the system. For example, in the March release, we added the edit with full control privilege that allows you to define a role like a data curator. That might manage volunteered information in the context of crowdsourcing applications, for example. Next, I'd really like to talk about the WebGIS information model. You may have also heard this referred to as the portal information model. We also call this the geo information model. But it's really the heart of the platform. It's what users work with, and it's also what applications work with. It's a simple model. There's maps, scenes, layers, and analytics, including reports, graphs, and charts, the results of analyses. The layers include feature layers and image layers that primarily represent data or views of data, as well as other layers such as tile layers and scene layers that assist in the visualization of data. And then users create these, share these with each other, developers use these to build applications. And all of this is, of course, powered by services which themselves work against data and visualization caches. And we call it a WebGIS because it's all accessible over HTTP, which is the protocol of the web. But basically, mobile devices, browsers, desktop applications, all of them can connect to and work with this information. Let's drill into this a little bit more in the context of 3D, which is something new that the platform has over the last year and continuing into this year. So we have scenes, web scenes, that represent basically 3D maps. They contain scene layers, and these represent features displayed in 3D. You can think about the different kinds of layers. Point layers, you can display them with billboarded 2D symbols or with full 3D symbols. So you have hydrants. Here they are displayed with 3D models of hydrants as the symbol. You can have lines displayed draped on the surface or symbolized with tubes, for example. Polygons that can be draped or extruded. There are, of course, 3D objects, buildings, either textured or untextured, as well as 3D meshes that can represent slices through volumes or any arbitrary surfaces. You can also work with all of the existing layers that are already there within the system. Map and image tiles, dynamic map and image layers. So that's sort of the taxonomy of how 3D scenes come together in the context of this information model that we talked about. All of these information elements are actually accessible to you as a developer. They are items within the portal, and their definitions are in simple JSON. And if you go to developers.arcgis.com, you'll find descriptions of these there. Let's talk about content. The ArcGIS platform includes content. For those of you who have not drilled into this aspect, I really encourage you to visit arcgis.com, go to the features page, and read about the ready-to-use maps and layers that come with the platform. It's actually quite amazing. There's a lot of content that you can use in your applications, including imagery that's updated daily, information on current conditions such as severe weather conditions, of course demographics, landscape variables, all of this from the authoritative organizations that gather this information. Esri has compiled this, made it available as part of the platform. So really an asset to use in your applications. Apps are an essential part of the platform. We build these apps, and you build even more apps that address many different needs in different vertical areas across the world. The apps that we have with the platform, we think of them as basic mapping applications, business applications, viewing applications. Here's the suite of apps that come with the platform. I'd like to talk about 3 of them, the essential mapping apps that are available to users. They include the Operations Dashboard, Collector, Explorer. We've been working actively on these last year. We continue this year. We have many things to add to them. Some things that we released last year. For example, in the case of the Operations Dashboard, it's now available in browsers. Collector can work with version geodatabases as well as with related tables. And of course, you can do your collection work when you're offline. Explorer is now available on Android. And many more things to come this year that we'll be talking about in this conference, including, for example, Collector on Windows. In the area of building web apps, we released the Web App Builder, which allows you to build HTML, JavaScript applications using a predefined gallery of widgets. This is something that we had a lot of requests for, and that's available now in the platform. As developers, you can also extend this framework by creating your own widgets. Next, I'd like to talk about desktop. Last year, we released 10.3, and as part of that, of course, there's updates to ArcMap, including the ability to work with multidimensional data, for example, many new enhancements, performance and quality. We also introduced Pro at the start of this year, a very exciting new application, 64-bit, powerful, fast, and it really rounds out our desktop suite. Pro has many excellent features in it, including powerful analysis, editing in 2D and 3D, a very simple licensing model, the ability for users to share their knowledge with others, encapsulated as tasks, the ability to customize it. So we really are very excited about Pro and the power it brings to people who need to do analysis on the desktop, leveraging powerful computers. But Pro is that and more. Pro is also an excellent application for working with the platform. It allows you to create content, author maps and scenes, share them with others through the platform. And it's also an excellent consumer of that information. So Pro is many things, and it will continue to evolve and grow. Server at 10.3 now becomes a complete system for implementing WebGIS in your own infrastructure. And we realized this is what people need to do. And we thought about how to make that more easy to do. And the answer was to include portal with server. And this really enables you to do everything that I just talked about with respect to maps and scenes and layers in your own infrastructure. And portal works with servers. It can integrate multiple servers. These servers at 10.3, server includes its own built-in data store. And server, of course, works with additional external data stores, the databases and network file systems that are there in every organization. And server brings all of the capabilities, mapping, editing, geoprocessing, visualization, real-time imagery. To drill into just one of these, if we were to talk about real-time, it really took a step forward at 10.3. The geo-event extension for ArcGIS Server basically has become more performant, more scalable through clustering. It has more spatial operators, and it now supports pushing information out to clients and users through a new stream service that is exposed as a streaming feature layer in the client applications. And this has been released in the JavaScript API. You'll hear more about it this morning. ArcGIS is, of course, a platform for developers. This week is all about that, and that's why you are here. All kinds of development can be done. It's for in-house developers within organizations, for business partners and independent software vendors, as well as for app developers building apps for the world at large. You can build apps for organizations that allow users within these organizations to sign in through the platform, through your application, and take advantage of the tools and functionality that your app brings to working with their data, be it visualization or editing or analytics. And the key to this is that all logins are centralized within the platform. We support OAuth to make it really easy for you to write apps that follow this pattern. You can also build apps for the public that access premium content and services powered by the platform. ArcGIS offers a spectrum of tools for building apps that you'll hear about this morning, including APIs that give you full control, as well as very easy-to-use application templates that let you quickly create content within the platform and then realize it as an application. Finally, I'd like to talk about our roadmap. We're working on a number of things across the platform, all of the topics that you see here and more. I'd just like to talk about 3 of these, and some of these you will see in more depth later this morning. So in the area of mapping, we've been working on multiple initiatives. The first of these is smart mapping, making it really easy for non-expert users to create great maps that tell the story of their data. It's really amazing. It's user experience work, and you'll see it. In the area of 3D mapping, I already talked about the work with web scenes and layers, and that's an area that we're going to continue to work on in 2015, more 3D symbols, making it really easy and intuitive to create these scenes. We're also working on vector map tiles, really empowering our users to create these tiles from the data that they already have and to be able to use this information everywhere, and you'll see that too. Mobile map packages allow users to create packages that they can then provision onto devices to use with runtime and with apps. And these support search, geocoding, routing, as well as, of course, display. And building on that, we're working on a content product, Street Map for mobile, and an accompanying application, ArcGIS Navigator, that works not just with the standard data that we provide, but also with mobile packages that you can create that augment the information with your own information. For example, on additional aspects of the network, private roads, for example, that you may have. In the area of 3D, we focus on Pro for display, editing, analysis, management of rich 3D content, from geodatabases, from file systems, and then you can share this information out using web scenes and scene layers that you can use everywhere. We're working on this progressively. The initial releases in online and in Pro are already available, and you will see this roll out in server and even more also in online as the year progresses. Another area of focus is analytics and real time. I talked about these streaming feature layers available in browsers. Well, as part of completing the 10.3 wave, they'll also be available in the rest of the platform. For example, ready to use in Operations Dashboard and Pro, and also available to you as developers in runtime. We're working on analytics like on-the-fly aggregation, visualization of high-velocity streaming data, and spatiotemporal analytics. And all of these are follow-on releases to the Geo Event Extension that are in, we're working on these, and they'll be released later in the year or in the beginning of next year. It's still too early to say. Also focusing on analytics against both standard and big data. Really, this is about high volume, high performance batch analytics. And we see this as a new aspect of server, working on this for both tabular and vector data, as well as on raster and image data. And the focus there really is not on new functions, but basically working in this context of the server with respect to distributed computation against distributed data sets. How can we bring that all together in server and make it really easy for people to do these analyses on large data sets? So here's our roadmap for the rest of the year and looking into 2016. The top stream shows our releases of desktop and server. We have a 10.3.1 that we will be releasing in Q2. And then at the end of the year, we'll be releasing ArcGIS 10.4. Pro has Pro 1.1 and 1.2, and these track 10.3.1 and 10.4, but Pro will be released independently. And then, of course, we continue to release online at its regular cadence.